So there's been a few small Payday 3 news tidbits that have come out over the last week or so that I thought I'd combine today into a news roundup video so we can talk about all the key things. They'll all be chaptered out in the description down below, so if you want to jump to certain things, feel free. But I thought I'd basically just fill you in on everything going on with regards to Payday 3, since we are now less than a week away from Silver and Gold Edition owners getting their hands on the game. It's pretty big, it's pretty cool. But speaking of pretty big things, just to open up this video, I want to announce this. An interview with Gustavo Cucimio, the music composer for Payday 3, is going to be happening. I'm planning to record it next week once the game's gone live so we can talk about tracks specifically, but I thought let's get the interview announced so you guys can leave your questions. So in the comment section below, if you've got any questions for Gustavo, there'll also be a tweet and a community post that should go up around the time this video comes out, and there's literally, you've got about a week for you to leave your questions, so if you can't decide immediately or you want to listen to some tracks first and then ask him, you've got time. So I just thought I'd announce that now and ask you to leave your questions down below. That's the first thing. But let's get into some actual Payday 3 news. I'm going to kick off first by looking back at infamous rewards. We talked about these not very long ago on the channel. It was a system where you complete certain things in Payday 2 to unlock things in Payday 3. I went through a whole breakdown of it, and you can go and check out that video for full information, description of what you can get and how you do it. But I wanted to let you know that you can now unlock the rewards in Starbreeze Nebula, because if you log into your Nebula account, there is now a special page for you to claim the rewards. Now, I will leave a link to this specific page in the description, but you can log in, you connect your Steam to your Nebula account, as I have done here, and then you can claim each of the items associated with the challenges that you have completed. Now, it's been a little bit buggy, some things have not been working very well, and QA is still working on fixing a couple of small bugs that the site's having, so all I will say is if not everything works for you immediately, check in the next day and just keep checking in every day until everything works for you. But if you're having issues where, for instance, this one, we're saying you need to own Payday 2 and launch it, has not worked, launch the game and refresh the page. I'm going to do it right now in this recording, so hopefully it will work and you can see it evidently in front of us. Okay, I'm going to hop into the inventory of my game and just change a gun. Just pop back out maybe, get it to save. There we go, prompt to save on there. Should hopefully mean everything's synced up, so if I then close the game, we should be good to go. So let's have a look and see if this makes it work. Oh, there we go. It is working fine. Brilliant. So there we go. We've got all the things unlocked that I have worked up to, so I need to complete a few more heists on Mayhem. So yeah, just loading up the game and doing something within it to prompt a save, so opening and closing the inventory should be more than enough, and then you can claim all your items. So let's just run through and see if I can claim everything. So every time it'll refresh the page, say that I've claimed it, and we'll be good. Okay, cool. Cool, so that's how that works, and it seems like it's all working fine for me. So if anyone's got any problems, keep checking, keep making sure you're going into the game and prompting a save to sync up with the cloud so that Nebula can pick it up, and you'll be good to go. The infamous rewards will be yours. Next up on the agenda is a bit more news about the game being always online. There's a couple of things I want to cover here. First off, there was an interview here with Starbreeze's CEO, Tobias Hergren, which I've never seemed to pronounce his name right, so I apologise for any native Swedes in the audience. But he did an interview, it's all in Swedish, there isn't an actual official translation on YouTube, but I've spoke to a few people who've been able to translate some of the more important things for me, and he talked a bit, as you can see here, about the always online integration of Payday 3, so the fact that you can never play any heists in Payday 3 unless you're connected to the internet. And he talked about the fact that it's to do with preventing cheating. It's an anti-cheating setup, which means there's either one or two reasons as to why they've done this. It could be A, to prevent the existence of a DLC unlocker again. That was a very big problem with Payday 2, and they're trying to avoid it with Payday 3. Or B, I think it could be more to do with microtransactions. I don't know which way it's going to be realistically, but it could be because they've got a microtransaction system coming. If they're constantly connected to the internet, it helps prevent some glitches and bugs. For example, if you think about GTA Online, people were able to glitch money into the game by sometimes removing their internet connection, then getting back in. Things like that, tricking the connection, would sometimes work for things like that. So maybe they're trying to prevent things like that happening for Payday 3 so that their microtransaction system can be held up and people can't steal the in-game currency whenever it releases. It could be why. But either way, it's very much an anti-cheating setup. That's their logic behind the decision. Doesn't make it a great deal better in my eyes, but at least we get some reason as a studio as to why they've chosen to do it, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. Moving on from that, with it being always online, Andreas, one of the lead producers, or the lead producer I should say, on Payday 3, did a few bits of questions and answers on Twitter while the second beta was going on. And one thing that really stood out to me was people asking, when you do a heist solo in a private match, will you be able to pause the game? He has said no, which is just the worst possible thing I could have heard, and you can see he's not even had a single like on the tweet. No one appreciates it. I did reply to it, and if anyone wants to try and support this, feel free to like my tweet, reply to it, encourage that you do want a pause feature for private matches. I've said it in there. I know there are games that are always online or require an internet connection to play, like for example Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, where if you play privately you can pause the game. It is doable, so I'm a bit sad that they haven't done that for Payday 3, and I do want them to fix it. If it happens that I'm in the middle of a stream, I'm in the middle of a tough heist, and I want to pause the game to go and do something, or I'm recording or anything like that, and I can't pause the game, or anyone just realistically not doing videos, just not being able to pause is so inconvenient. So I really, really hope they look into that, but I thought for now, since that is news that's worth sharing, I'd put it out there for you guys so you can see it. The link to my tweet will be in the description, so you can go and reply to that, like it, and support it if you want to help encourage some input from the audience, basically to say, let us pause the game. Moving on from that, Andreas did share one more interesting thing for the console players, because I was wondering about this myself. An FOV slider will be available at launch on console. It wasn't in the beta, it was only on PC, but you will have it on console, so it won't be Payday 2 all over again, begging for one for years. You'll get one at launch, so don't worry about that. That will be there in next week's main full version of the game. Very glad to hear that myself, because an FOV slider is something I appreciate very, very dearly. And then finally, in today's news roundup, it's actually something a little bit more random, but also quite interesting, and it's just been tweeted out by Payday 3's Twitter account. They went to New York City this week to present in-game Payday outfits in collaboration with Bam Bam, which is a fashion design. I've got a website here, I'll show you in a second, and Okar-style suits physically at New York Fashion Week. Next year, 2 of Bam Bam's creations will be available for Payday 3 heisters to enjoy, and you can see them here. I'm assuming these 2 are the different suits. It says that there are 2 outfits. Maybe there's some that are different. Maybe it isn't either of these. I don't know. But considering you've got a more masculine build and more feminine build version of the suit, it could just be these are the 2 items. I really don't know. However, they do look really cool. I think they're quite striking outfits, realistically, and you can see a bit more of pictures of them on the fashion carpet. I don't know if Alma's in the audience or something. I know he said he was in New York, but I can't quite spot him. It'd be funny if we could see him out in the audience. That'd be hilarious. But you can see one of the outfits here and then one more here. So both of them were shown off on the carpet or the fashion runway. I'm not a big Fashion Week person, I don't know the technical terms, but they look really cool. I really, really do like them, and it's just kind of crazy to see Payday stills on a screen in a fashion show. That's kind of mad, realistically, but if you do want to check out more of the artist designs, I have found a website you can give a scope to, and it goes through a whole bunch of designs, and you can actually see some of the stuff that is playing parts in the outfit, so very similar colour schemes or patterns showing up on their website, so you can go and give it a peek if you're interested. I'll link that in the description as well. But ladies and gentlemen, that is everything in today's Payday 3 news roundup. So to recap, we've got the Gustavo interview happening, so leave your questions down below. You can now claim your infamous rewards. Link in the description to how to claim that will be available. We've got Tobias's interview. I'll link this as well in case you speak Swedish and you want to watch the video. So you've got that confirming that Always Online is due to preventing cheating, whether it be for DLC unlockers, microtransactions, whatever it may be. We don't know specifically, just that it is some kind of anti-cheating setup. We also know you can't pause in private matches. Hopefully that changes. And on top of that, there'll be a console FOV slider available at launch, as well as this cool little outfit collaboration happening at some point next year. Some very exciting stuff going on in Payday 3 at the minute, and with us not having long left to go until the main release, I'm looking for more ideas for what you guys want to see me talk about in the final days leading up to Payday 3. So if there's anything you want to know, let me know down in the comment section below, and I will cook up some videos if I think there's something interesting to talk about. The last thing I'm expecting of Payday 3 before launch is the final dev diary, or the penultimate one I should say. The final one is the launch one, but there's Narrative and Sounds, episode 8 is still to come. I'm expecting that to happen this week. Whenever it does, I will do a video on it, but apart from that, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all very soon with some more Payday 3 news, updates, and everything in between. Look after yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you all soon.